has been so long, like 10 months. We've not been on mat. We've been training, right? And like somebody like my coach, who will always organize fight for you. But it's not like competition. So it's very good to be back to the mat. And this competition has really give value to our preparation for the Oceania qualifiers and African Championship as well.
That's Oduayo there talking about how that competition is going to help them to prepare for more championships taking place this year, especially the Olympics. Okay, we have a guest in the studio. We have Demola Ogbonna joining us this morning. Demola, good morning. It's good to have you.
Thank you, Cici, for having me. Good morning, Tyre.
It's great to have you, Demola.
Okay. Before we dive into the show, you guys can on Twitter, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Of course.
I mean, talk to us on Twitter. I mean, yesterday was all about Chelsea, and there's this Lampard out that is going out everywhere. It's trending.
Oh,
so,
damn.
I mean, Chelsea fans, it's as if they're not happy with Frank Lampard after he had, kind of spent close to 250 million quid. I mean, but then they're not reaping the benefits yet. I mean, they're not patient with him. But those players need to blend. But then talk to us, Chelsea fans. What do you think about Frank Lampard? I mean, his style of play and what he's been doing to Chelsea this season. Should he go? Should he stay? And also, Manchester United will be in action today. Well, can they go back top? Because Leicester right now, they are top because of the fact that they beat Chelsea 2-0. And Ndidi, getting his goal. And that strike, I mean, where did that come from? Well, Ndidi somehow knows how to score against Chelsea. So talk to us about that. And also today, we have one MPFL game, rescheduled game, match day 2. Eyimba and Kwara United hosting Eyimba. That game was supposed to have been immediately after they beat Plateau United away from home, and we're anticipating what can they do against the Elephants from Aba. But then that game did not hold. So today it's going to be taking place. So talk to us about that also on the program. Okay, so we start with that MPFL reschedule game, talking about Eyimba and of course Kwara United.
Yeah, Demola.
What's going to happen?
Big game.
Big game, of course. Eyimba still 5th, Kwara United 15th all the way. And seeing that Eyimba won their last match against Kano Pillars, I mean, that is no mean feat at all. They won that, the match 2-1. Whereas Kwara were only, able to draw. And now, looking at the stats, to see where the game is going to go, of course, I'm always going to tilt towards Eyimba. They have the pedigree, but... let's not forget, Kwara is playing at home, so we expect this to be a difficult one for Eyimba. We're not expecting a high-scoring match, but I expect Eyimba to just nick it with the odd 1-0, 2-1, or 2-0 scoreline. So we'll see how that goes. Yes, yes. I think they can pull it off.
Okay.
And it's talked about the position of Kwara United as well. You remember before the season started, they were looking forward. They were champion at the beat to play, and it hasn't started so well for them. So this is an opportunity for them to actually, just...
Tell us that the beating of, Plateau United at the beginning of the season wasn't a fluke.
Yeah, I mean...
So you can actually beat some big teams with big coaches.
Exactly. So very interesting side. And the goalkeeper, Dele Ayenuba, I'd like to see where he's going to be in goal against former side as well. So he used to keep for Eyimba all those years ago.
I remember when he came on, he had this interview, he talked about the fact that, look, he's not just coming here to be here. He's going to train other goalkeepers. So it's more like a coach. I mean, he's more like...
he's registered for the MPFL.
He's registered for the MPFL, so he will only be needed maybe when, I don't know, when something happens. But let's see. You never know.
It's just going to be very, very funny if he makes a starting lineup today
against his former team after so many years.
That's full circle right there. Anyway, so we'll bring you the updates of that game definitely on the show tomorrow. Still talking on the MPFL. Let's talk about... Rangers International, the Flying Antelopes.
Yeah, Rangers International. I mean, that's when you mention Rangers. I mean, we all know that it's one of the biggest teams, one of the biggest teams in Nigeria Professional Football League and all that. But then, they actually caught up with the Commissioner for Sports of the state and was asking him about Rangers, their plans for Rangers International and all that and everything. And it was like, no, we know this is a very big club. People have been coming, for this club to privatize and all that. We're not looking at that because we know Rangers alone is a money-making. I mean, Rangers means money.
I don't know about Rangers meaning money, but all I know is a lot of these government-owned clubs, they are not down for any kind of privatization. They want to hold on to these clubs for obvious reasons. We're not going to delve into that today But you're surprised that the commissioner is not saying that there's no plans to privatize anything. We're good as we are.
I mean, if you have former Super Eagles captain and coach and a former player of Rangers as well, Christian Chukwu, is an advocate of this club being privatized as well. He is of the opinion that government shouldn't delve too much into club activities. Even if you're going to do that, maybe 50% stake, sell it off. Let the club be able to finance itself. Use the money meant for the citizens of the state in building hospitals, schools, and whatnot. Let that be for the state and not to be running off the club. Rangers is a big club, as it were, and they can generate funds themselves. You know, just put it out there. And these things, I mean, if you have people like Christian Chukwu coming out and saying this, you know that, but we don't think this is going to be the case for Rangers anyway.
Doesn't look that way, or for any other government-owned club, for that matter, Cecilia.
Yeah. All right, let's listen to the Commissioner for Sport talking about this.
Rangers has been doing creditably well, and you see the kind of the squad that they have now. I assure you that they are going to sustain it. The coach of Rangers now, the technical coach, is one of the best. He's an experienced coach. If Rangers can be able to recruit such a coach and other notable players that is known and are playing for Rangers, Rangers is out there. In the present league that is going on, they're not doing badly. What the entire Nigerian people are expecting from Rangers, that they are going to do miracle. Not just miracle, because they are fully in form for this league. If Rangers will be privatized, before now, so many people are coming, big teams, even from abroad. But Rangers is a name, is a household name. It's a name that every Igbo man is known for. Not just an Igbo man. Sokoto Emir is one of the fans of the Rangers. Anytime the Rangers are playing, he always calls to give them support. So it's not just trying to privatize. They're not playing for money, even though that money is involved. But it's a household name. They are the only team that has never gone for relegation since 1950s till today. So it's a very serious issue. Privatizing Rangers, no. The money will come. The Rangers, its name already is money.
All right, Rangers is money, right? So they love running the club like that. I mean, that's the government spokesperson, so he understands what it means when he's talking about that.
Business as usual.
Business as usual. So Rangers, I mean, people thinking you're going to have 50% stake, as you're saying. This is nothing like that. I mean, Rangers is money, so they can make money off it by running it by themselves. Okay,
let's go to
let's leave it
to England.
Of course, I mean, where clubs are owned by individuals. Anybody just come, as long as you have the money, you can buy a club and run it successfully, and it's truly fully structured and all that.
Let's go there.
Okay.
And talk about the game that was played last night. We said it on the show. Our analyst, Bada, agreed with us as well to that Chelsea were there for the taking. They looked ready to be pounced on by the Foxes, and that's exactly what happened at the King Power. 2-0, that's how it ended for the Foxes. Off Brendan Rodgers, the first game of the day, ended 2-1 in favor of West Ham. Mikel Antonio scoring the winner for the Hammers, and the good run and good start to the season for David Moyes continues in the Premier League. But, of course, we're going to focus on that match played at the King Power Stadium. Chelsea yet again floundering. Demola. Going into the game, I thought it was Leicester's game to lose. And they didn't disappoint me at all. The game went according to script.
They did not disappoint. I told a friend before the match started that the match is for the taking for Leicester. And as early as the 6th minute when the goal came in, I knew that, you know, if Leicester can just get one more, the game is going to wrap up. You expect that Chelsea, with all their quality and all the money spent, they've spent over £230 million. I mean,
the money doesn't play the game, though.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah, so what's the problem?
Getting the cohesiveness of the players is what I think is missing. Not having a stable 11, tinkering with the team all the time. I mean, there's no way they're going to, you know, get to gel together properly. Starting a centre-back today, another one tomorrow, you know, even the midfield always tinkering with it, you know. And for Brendan Rodgers, you know what the man is all about. He's a well-proven coach. I think he's not being given the credit he deserves.
Looking
at what he did, for Liverpool, and going to Celtic as well to win 3 trot, in a row. And his team are always solid. And when you have a Jamie Vardy, who is always going to put defenders on their toes, you have a James Maddison in the midfield always, making things
fully fit.
Ndidi always winning the ball. Always. In that match yesterday, he was imperious in that defensive midfield role.
Yeah.
And of course, not forgetting Tielemans and Fofana. They all came to the party yesterday.
You can go on and about these Leicester players. Yeah. James Johnson guy at the back. What a revelation has been. Right back, left back can play anywhere.
Even Johnny Evans, that can be very funny sometimes. He's actually behaving.
Almost gave away penalty.
Penalty and all that.
Yeah, got his bacon
that was very close.
By VAR right there.
It was.
But for Leicester, okay, not my guy.
Wilfred Ndidi.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, not Wilfred, of course.
Jamie Vardy?
No, the coach, Brendan Rodgers, are finally getting one over Chelsea.
I mean, he has never beaten Chelsea
several
in his career and all that. But I think if you look at the game, really, we're talking about the fact that Lampard usually changed his formation and all that. Not just the formation, but the players. Doesn't have a first 11. Now, you're bringing in too many young players into a young squad, and you're trying to build a team. Sometimes you need time for you to be able to get your first 11, because you cannot. It's been hard for him. And there was a time they had a good run where, like, okay, maybe they were back. But check the teams that they played. They were actually teams below them. But now they're playing the teams above them, so it's hard for them to grind out a victory.
Yeah.
I mean,
what happened to the experienced players that got you into 4th position last season?
How many of them do you still have? I mean, Giroud, we know Olivier Giroud, of course, was injured, so that's why I didn't start. So let's not go to the way.
Was injured as well.
Kante missing as well.
Also missing. I think maybe he has a knock or something. Yeah. So that's the thing. So when you have these 2 experienced players, they are not there. What's he left with? Sometimes you guys need to cut you some slack, because you only work with what is in front of you. When people were,
I don't think it's pushing those boys enough. They weren't running. They were like a bicycle, giving the ball away, no pressure. I mean, come on, you guys are earning top pounds. You need to put the work in. They didn't do that yesterday, and sadly, their coach is going to take the fall for that.
Yeah. Do you think? I mean, of course, Celia talked about Lampard out trending. Is that a bit premature? Do you think he should be worried for his job now, even though we're not even a halfway stage?
Their fans are not smiling at all. Most of them want Lampard out, so I wasn't surprised. I mean,
but for you, don't you think it's a bit premature? I mean, okay, they're not doing so well now, and they keep sliding down the table, but they're not too far away from the top 4
I want to give him a benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
I think he will get his act together and get these boys to perform. He knows what's at stake. His name, his reputation is at stake. I mean, going forward, you don't want these things on your CV as a non-performing coach. I want to give him a benefit of the doubt. I implore all Chelsea fans as well. I'm sure most of them will not be happy with me this morning, but give him
some time.
Yeah, give him some time.
Okay.
Give him some time.
I don't know. We have a lot of Chelsea fans out that watch the show as well. Too. What do you make of the situation of Frank Lampard? Do you want him gone now, or do you want him to get a bit of time to, return Chelsea to winning ways? Send your tweets to channels_sports, and we will be taking them before the show is over. All right, then, let's come to what's going to happen tonight. 2 games, actually, it was supposed to be 3 games, and 1 has been postponed, but the 2 other games will go down. I'm talking about the 2 Manchester clubs will be in action. Man City will take on Aston Villa.
Aston Villa, finally, they're playing football again.
Yeah, okay, we'll come back to that later. Then Fulham versus Manchester United. So let's start with Fulham and Manchester United. Fulham still trying to get out of relegation waters, but we've seen them improve in recent weeks. Some very good results along the way. Liverpool, Tottenham, even against Chelsea that they lost by a lone goal. I thought they were the better side. So this game surely will be will be a tricky one for Manchester United, and that's what the coach is expecting, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
For Fulham, Scott Parker, he was a tough tackling midfielder in his heydays. And, I think he's bringing that character of his, that mentality into the team. You expect Manchester United, they know what's at stake. If you win, you go back to the top of the league at least for a week, But I think that the firepower of Manchester United will be too much for Fulham to handle.
You think so?
Yes, I think so. I think so.
Interesting.
A gritty team, a team that's very difficult to beat. I mean, you saw what happened to Chelsea. You mentioned that. So
even with a man down.
Even with a man down, and they were not really relenting.
Chelsea.
And it was even until a man was sent off before they could even get the goals that they got.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Chelsea are struggling.
They are struggling.
They're struggling. So United are not struggling. United could not beat below par Liverpool.
Yeah,
I mean, they had the chance to beat them at Anfield. They didn't take that opportunity to beat those guys.
Yeah, United have not been fantastic.
I wouldn't say Liverpool.
Yeah, they have a way of grinding out results from some teams and all that.
Yeah,
but they've been grinding out results.
Yeah.
So if you have a stubborn Fulham, they may
Who
not be able to.
battling for their lives.
That's it.
Want to stay up.
They want to stay up and all that.
They can't defend for the whole 90 minutes. So
Yeah, but they've got players going forward as well. So Ademola Lookman, Cavallero. Those guys are very. There's quality going forward for Fulham as well. So, and that's what the coach, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, has been speaking about ahead of the game, how his team needs to be very wary of this Fulham side. Of course, also talking about the physical condition of Bruno Fernandes. 2nd versus 18th at Craven Cottage later tonight. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not taking Fulham for granted at all, not underestimating Scott Parker's side in that game. Let's talk about their neighbours. Will be in action as well to Manchester City. They'll be taking on Aston Villa. Aston Villa, the issues are well documented. COVID has almost decimated the season. So you don't know what kind of form they're coming back in. I mean, this is a team that's been playing so well. Then COVID just came and almost ended. What are you expecting from Villa today? Obviously, the fact that the season hasn't disrupted will play a major role in today's game against the City side, who seem to be banging form.
Yes, City are an imperious side, no doubt. I mean, going forward, the midfield, I mean, you have Kevin De Bruyne, Raheem Sterling, you expect that they're always going to come tops. But for Aston Villa, their playmaker, Jack Grealish, remember when they played Liverpool in the Cup competition, they had to use mostly their young talents.
All their young players, on the 20, on the 18s.
Yeah. And they didn't do too badly, even though, I mean, it took,
at least they scored a goal against Liverpool. You know what that means? Premier League champions.
And it took almost 60 minutes before Liverpool can start scoring.
Yeah.
They gave Liverpool in that match a good run for their money. But against Man City, with all their players back now, I'm sure Guardiola will not be taking anything for granted. These were the same Aston Villa that whooped Liverpool 7-2, yes? And now I'm sure Guardiola will not be taking anything. I expect Man City to win the game nonetheless.
Easily?
Yeah, not easily. It's going to be tough. There's nothing given in the Premiership. You have to earn it, you know. So, but I expect that Man City.
Because what they did against Crystal Palace, I mean, was really awful. You expect the Crystal Palace side to actually fight a little, but they didn't have Wilfred Zaha. But Aston Villa, they have the complete squad, right? So
yeah, but we don't just know
the kind of players they're turning up.
How much training have they had?
They have.
All these things. We'll play a major role, but we'll see.
We'll wait tonight and see what's going to happen that game, because Pep Guardiola knows he needs to win that and see how he can topple United. All right, we need to go to the break. We'll be back after this.
All right, let's before we look at the papers, Cecilia, let's take a look at the tweets coming in. A lot of Chelsea fans are talking. Let's start with Jonathan.
Okay.
You're saying Lampard is the problem of Chelsea. Give the same boys to Ancelotti or even Drogba, really. Come on, Jonathan. Without any coaching experience, they'll do better than what Lampard has done. The league belongs to Manchester City.
Okay.
I see what it means. The City look
they look likely. Yeah. Bosun says, I'm beginning to be afraid of Lampard's job right now. Abramovich is not a patient man. Chelsea has too much quality to be handing out a cheap win like promos. Okay.
Interesting. Idris Abiola, you're still talking on Chelsea and Lampard. Lampard is still struggling to get the best out of his supposed best players, which is very frustrating. I imagine you're a Chelsea fan. I also believe he hasn't gotten the right combination in midfield. He doesn't have the luxury of time. He needs to make amends as soon as possible, because Roman is somewhere, thinking about perhaps pulling the plug.
Teddy Oscar says, I don't care about what's happening in England, Chelsea or Lampard. My happiness is that the pain right now, my happiness is that the pain is being felt at the right place Yaya Bridge, London.
That's interesting.
It's interesting. I mean, I can feel the pain too. Jonathan went for that. He's still saying, okay, even as a Chelsea fan, I was happy into the squad and Chelsea was beaten by a better team.
Of course.
Lampard must go because Chelsea is too big for him. How can you lose all the matches with the top 6?
That's a problem.
That's a big problem. So if you cannot beat the top 6, it's a problem. But it's not the only one. Manchester United is in that category too. But United he's not losing. I mean.
And they are beating the teams they're supposed to beat, and they're somewhere near, close to the top. So there's a bit of a
I think if Arteta can pull some magic over recent games, let's just quote let's got Lampard some slack. I respect that.
No, but
for a while.
What is saying is
Arteta was able to beat Manchester United at the beginning of the season.
True,
but Chelsea,
I see what you're saying. But the bottom line is let's give Lampard a bit of time to try and turn it around, and if the situation becomes dire, perhaps Roma might have to make a change. But as it is right now, it's not too bad, and they're not so far off from the top 4. Before we look at the papers, one more tweet, Noble Flyer. You're saying, I worked in Stamford Bridge for 5 years. All right, interesting. And hence, I have an idea, first an idea of how the fans behave when they don't get results. I see Lampard getting the stick. Should he lose the next game? You're also saying, well done to rock solid Wilfred Ndidi will crush Fulham by 4-0 tonight. United forever, of course. All the best to your side, Noble Flyer. Later tonight against Fulham. 4-0 against Fulham.
After failing to score against Liverpool, I mean, they should be able to unleash all the goals against Fulham tonight. Okay, we'll go to the paper starting with Sporting Sun. And Sporting Sun here, Rogers, and this is worth 150 million quid. Yes, I'll pay that for him because that guy is solid.
Yeah, it's one of the best in his positions.
Right now. So you can argue that. Yes, 150 million quid. Yes, I will shell out that for him, and I won't do that for Maguire. Okay, let's quickly move on. I know no Real Madrid deal for David Alaba yet. That's a player's father actually denies the done deal flying around. Everyone is saying that the deal is done. Alaba is going to Real Madrid, but then the father is denying this. That's on Sporting Sun. And it says Sean's Super Eagles settles for France. Okay. Was he ever Ulisse? Sean's Super Eagles settles for France. Ulisse, that's a player. I mean, maybe he wants to play for France and all that. Not the Sunday Ulisse.
Not Sunday Ulisse.
Okay. So details of this is on Sporting Sun. Okay.
All right, let's go to Sporting Life. That's the next paper for review. Villarreal versus Granada. Chukwueze may need to undergo surgery on a groin injury. It's doubtful for tonight's game. We'll get updates on that before the day is over. Ozil takes massive 282,000 quid weekly cut. Really?
Okay.
That's interesting. Fenerbahce. Well, that's surprising indeed. PSG expect decision on Ali this week. Yeah, Ali is pushing to leave Tottenham. It's not getting game time under Jose Mourinho and wants to go and reunite with Mauricio Pochettino. What do you make of that? PSG?
I subscribe to that notion. I mean, if you're not getting playing time, you're a top quality player, your place at the England team is no more guaranteed. I mean, your former coach is luring you on to come and play for him. Why not? Take the chance. Go experience a new city.
Of course, he will definitely win a title there.
It's Paris, for that matter.
He will win a title there. We're sure of that. Okay, Complete Sports is the last one this morning. Complete Sports, you have Besiktas to move for Diengalo as Man United loan spell ends in January. Also, Ramon Aziz has asked to leave Granada, okay. Yeah, he wants to live there. An impressive Awoni targets Bundesliga top 4, eyes 6th goal in 45 games for Union Berlin. Union Berlin will be facing RB Leipzig tonight. Okay.
Hopefully he gets another goal in that one.
It's going to be really tough. Yes.
Many thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you for watching as well. Enjoy the rest of the day and try and join us again tomorrow if you can. I am Taya Salam.
I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a great day.